Promoting protests, an administrator at Vanderbilt University says disruptive demonstrators should be celebrated. In an essay for Inside Higher Ed, the director of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex life writes this: no matter the issue or side of the political or philosophical spectrum, it is the commonly understood role of administrators to work with students to support activism.
Carol Swain is a former professor at Vanderbilt University and the author of Abduction, this book, How Liberalism Steals Our Children's Hearts and Minds, and she joins us live in the studio today. Good morning to you, Carol.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So what do you think about this?
I think that it's a strategy that social justice warriors use. It disrupts the universities. The administrators, who happen to be cowards often, they will accommodate the loudest voices. And as a consequence, you know, the people that go in, take over the president's office, they get what they want. And then their supporters, they are the builders. They work to build the special programs. It leaves out conservatives. It leaves out Christians. It leaves out anyone who wants to work within the system to bring about change.
Now, Professor, I have no problem with people expressing their views and protesting as long as it's not violent. That's what the Constitution allows us to do. But this person is telling them, encouraging them to go out and disrupt university functions and also encouraging them to protest, which I'm fine if someone does that, but I don't know if I want someone encouraging my child to go and do that unless that's something that my child had an idea to do on his or her own.
Well, the problem about it is that I think that faculty and administrators often are instigating it, that they are sort of working along with the social justice
pushing their
warriors.
views onto the kids,
Well,
right?
they're giving them, you know, the talking points and the strategies too often. And so it's not like these students are always spontaneously coming up with these ideas. And sometimes it's people that are not even on the campuses that are involved.
Sure. One of my kids, when they were in college, the professor for, I believe it was an English class, said, you know what? Everybody who skips class tomorrow and goes to this protest and protests this thing, I'm going to give you extra credit.
Well, I can tell you that after President Trump was elected, I know that there were emails that went out on many campuses where professors told students, you know, where the protests were going to be, or there are these emails that come asking students to go and volunteer and phone bank, you know, for your favorite liberal candidate. And I think that it's problematic and that it does affect conservative students. It makes a very uncomfortable environment for them.
How will the school where you were a professor, Vanderbilt, in Nashville, I thought seemingly conservative school, how will the administrators there take this? How will they respond to this?
Well, I'm no longer at Vanderbilt.
Right.
I've taken early retirement, and I'm not sure how they will respond, but I do know that Vanderbilt, like most of the universities, especially the secular ones, that they tend very much to be into activism. It's problematic, again, for these institutions because the loudest voices are the ones that get appeased. And this goes back to the 1960s when you had the protests. And out of those protests, you know, we got the ethnic studies programs, the women's studies, you know, the LGBT. And so the university is balkanized with all these different kinds of units, just like our country.
Interesting conversation. Carol Swain, formerly at Vanderbilt, now on early retirement. Good for you.
And here's her book.
It's called Abduction. Carol, thank you
How
very much.
Liberalism Steals Our Children's Hearts and Minds. A different type of abduction. Thank you
Yes,
so
and
much,
I think
Carol.
every parent needs to read it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.